Hi everybody, it's Ryan, and first off I'd just like to tell you thanks for watching what we have to say. If you've been around for a while or you were around earlier in the year, I put out kind of a State of the Union address as it's set for the time being, and this is just going to be a secondary video to that exact same thing. That is, we're still working off everything from the freeze and corona and all of those different things, so I have some topics to go over. I don't think this is going to be a completely very long-winded video, but there are going to be a few subsections. We have some different topics to go over, so if at any time any of those topics don't relate to you at all and you would like to skip forward, you'll be able to see them down at the bottom, and then you'll be able to read what those topics are down in the description, so you can just move on forward. It's completely appropriate if you do, but if you want to see my bright smiling face throughout this whole video and listen to what I have to say, then I highly recommend it, and that would also be great. So with that being said, grab your water or whatever other beverage you choose to have, and let's talk about what our topics are going to be for this video. So one is going to be chemicals, just straight pool chemicals, and the lack thereof of them and what that actually looks like. If you are a person who has a work order with us, there's a section that I need to talk to you about when it comes to us contacting you beforehand and you being able to answer the phone. Third topic is what we have parts wise. I have a lot of parts that we have finally been able to get in that are not going to be accounted for tickets that we already have sold for freeze damage that are going to be out. So these are things that are for sale in our store that you can come and pick up, and these things are like motors and chlorinators and this type of stuff. So I'm going to give you a list of what I have, how many, no pricing, but because that's too convoluted. The coupon book, we're going to talk about the coupon book, all right, and then handhelds, so that will be brushes and poles and nets and vacuum heads. And then last topic is going to be chlorine alternatives and balancers. These are all things we're going to talk about so that we can help hold chlorine in the water better and more effectively, so that we aren't worried about the shortage so much. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into what it looks like as far as the lack of or lack thereof when it comes to chemicals. So everyone knows that there's a chlorine shortage. We've known about these types of things for months and months and months. In fact, it's almost strange that the news that you heard probably around 2 weeks ago with the big shortage that everybody reported on, that was old news. Awesomely that it's old news, because we've been able to start preparing for this for a while. We've been making strategic moves about this. That does not mean that we have all of the chemicals and we're going to have more than everybody. We're just lucky enough to have been thinking about this for a while. We've made a lot of really strategic orders, both size and time wise. Right now we have everything that we need, both for us and our existing service customers and for those of you who come in and buy things from the front, just on the retail counter. We have everything that we need. There are limits to some of those, but we're going to have orders coming in over the next probably 3 to 4 to 5 week increments, and we hope that that's going to continue to be the case for the year. Now, with that being said, everything that we need to operate on a daily basis will be within these orders, but until things get somewhat back to normal, and we don't even know what the definition of that is, there are going to be a few limits that are imposed on what it is that you can have and go outside the door with. These aren't crazy limits at all. Most of you have already bought tons of tablets and all of that for the year, and for most of you, 2 buckets of tabs will get you for the whole year. So with there being a tablet shortage and all these other shortages, really, if you've come to see us, for the most part, you're probably going to be pretty okay. But for those of you who have not, or you just want to know, if it's in a 25-pound bucket, so that's like CLC or Silk tabs, optimizer, well, not optimizer, but basically a chlorine product in a 25-pound bucket, your limit is 1 bucket per purchase. If you're more of a burnout and a bag type of person, I can only sell you up to a case, which would still last you for a whole second. If you're a liquid person, I can sell you 2 cases. Don't get too excited. That's only 6 gallons per purchase. And a case of acid. Acid and liquid have been something really weird and hard to get a hold of. I'm not real sure where that's going to turn out in the next couple of weeks to couple of months on how just plentiful liquid and acid are going to be. So if you're somebody who thrives on liquid, or you're a large user of muriatic acid, then like we need to be very conscious about all of those things. And if you have a lot of questions, I would recommend that you come in and talk to us. A lot of those factories are shut down. They've been shut down. Right now we're just looking to see what that's going to look like as we continue to move forward. But for now, I have it. I still plan on having a good bit of it, and we want to help you with that. Let's see. Oh, I've got 50-pound buckets of powder as well, and you can also buy a 50-pound bucket of powder at one time. Secondary things that I want to talk about, moving on to the next action item here, which is talking about if you have a work order with us and us trying to get a hold of you. So one of the biggest things that we hear when we're talking to you on the phone is that you want us to call first. We are so happy to talk to you before we come to your house. But there's a few things that I just want to go over with you, especially now, because all of these things really become a thing that affects the efficiency of what we have going on. And with the amount of you that we're still trying to get to for freeze damage assessment and freeze damage fixing and repair, it's very important, because y'all have some expectations of us that we have to have a few expectations from y'all. So if you're looking for us to call you beforehand, perfect, we can do that. I just want to convey the message that if you have a work order with us, I know so many of us out there, me included, never want to answer the phone when we look down and there's a number that we don't recognize. I have guys that are from all over the place. They don't all have 254 numbers. They have numbers from all over, and if you're like me, you get scam calls all day, every day, and you look at your phone when there's a number that comes up that's not on your caller ID, and you just make the noise. Red button, I'm done. Message comes through, I'm not even listening to it. I know it's talking about my car warranty or who knows what. If we call you and you requested that we called first, we get into a position where we don't know what to do. We are in a position now where we have so many work orders that we have to make the split-second decision of, we're going to go ahead and go see, I'm just going to say Mrs. Smith. There's no Mrs. Smith that I'm talking about. So my guys have to make a split decision on, do we go ahead and go see Mrs. Smith, even though she didn't answer the phone, but she was adamant that she wanted to talk to us before we came there. Because if we go ahead and go today, we can get it taken care of, we can get the pool back up and running, or we can get it turned from green to clear, or whatever the work order was. Or we have to make the decision of, I wasn't able to talk to her, I'm not real sure what my permissions are going to be on that property. Can I replace things that we haven't talked about? All of these different things. Or do I go on to the next one? Guys, if we move on to the next one, especially if we're not in, just straight in Waco, we don't know when we're going to be right back next to your house again. We're trying to calculate routes. We're trying to do all of these things so that we can come see you as quickly as possible. So I know when I make a work order with somebody, let's just say, Jerry's fridge shop, because my fridge is acting up, immediately after that, I know that there's probably going to be somebody calling me from a number that I'm not recognizing, and I have to be on point and ready to take that phone call, because I have to be there to unlock the gate or to be there to let them into the house. And when that technician calls, and of course there's going to be tons of times that I pick up the phone waiting for it to be Jerry, and it's somebody wanting to sell me a car warranty for a car I haven't had in 12 years. And I know that that's frustrating, but on the other side of it, we want to try to help you as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, and as professionally as possible. And when we can't get onto your property, or we can't talk to you beforehand, and it's something you specifically requested, it becomes kind of a danged if you do and a danged if you don't type situation. On the other side of that, I'm having a lot of people wanting to be there, which is fine. I want everyone to know that if you feel like you need to be on your property when we're at your house, whether it's just you being in the house so that if we need anything you can take care of it, or if you want to be there to watch, it's completely fine. We don't mind if you want to watch at all. But the one thing that I want everybody to know, because a lot of people at the end of the day tell me, I didn't know I didn't need to be here. You don't have to be there at all. We've been doing this for a long time, And if you trust us in your backyard, it's completely appropriate for you to be able to stay at work or stay in the house or whatever it is that you have. Go out and have the day you were going to have, whether it was go out with your best friend, go fishing, take some time for yourself, or just go play and be at work. If you feel like you want to be there, awesome. I just want you to know that you do not need to be there in any facet whatsoever. You're not going to be there to write me a check at the end, so that's okay. There's not a whole lot of need. So if you feel like you have to be there and you want to, awesome. We don't require it at all. So because one of the big things for that, especially in springtime, weather plays a major factor in what our day looks like. Even today, this week, if you're watching this, it's been raining all week. It's going to continue to rain. There are going to be those of you that we don't get to on this Tuesday or Monday or Thursday, strictly because of the rain. Now, you might have been on the list for that day, but we're not going to get to you because it's pouring cats and dogs, it's lightning, we've got poles sticking out, we're trying to play with electricity. There's a lot of reasons why we can't go do that safely. So just know that, a lot of it can all throw off the game. So, and the whole reason I say that is a lot of times I have people say, well, I took off today because y'all were going to be coming out. And then when I say things like, oh, Mrs. Smith, you didn't have to be there at all. We were just going to do A, or we were just going to take care of B. That becomes a moment where you can be even a little bit more frustrated, because then when you took the day off and you felt like it was wasted because we didn't get there already, and then I tell you, you didn't even have to be there anyway, it can become a thing. So you want to be there? Awesome. You don't want to be there? That's okay. We got you covered. The one thing is you got to just make sure that you pick up the phone. And if you're not sure, just remember that we text a lot. We can text you, or if you want to text us, it's just the plain old store number, 254-754-4551, and you are guaranteed to get some help. It might not always be at that exact second, as the phone is normally ringing off the hook. We're very busy, people are everywhere, but we can get to you easier. And the one thing I also want to let you know is if you call us and you don't leave a message, we're not calling back. The phone's ringing all day, every day. And I promise you, we cannot return the amount of phone calls that we get. But if it's special enough for you to leave a message, you will 100% always be special enough for us to call back. Okay, moving on. The parts that we have here for sale. So this morning we were going over with some stuff. And so I have some pumps for sale. I have 7 Jandy Flow Pros. Those range in the 1.5 horse to 1 horse, 1 horsepower pumps. So if you need a pump, I have those. I have 10 PB4 SQs. That's a Polaris booster pump. So if you're having problems with your booster pump or you need a new one, I've got that. I have 2 horsepower Jandy SHPs and one horsepower, no, maybe 2 of both. Doesn't matter, I have them. The whole thing is, if you don't know what an SHP is, it doesn't matter. If you need a pull pump, I've got 1 horse, 1.5 horse, and 2 horsepower pumps. I have 10 of them for sale across the board to go out the door. There's a lot of people that need them. If that's something that you need, please pick up the phone or get on your phone and text us right now, or come in. We are here to help you with that. Chlorinators. This has been something that has been the problem across the entire state. Is a chlorinator has been messing up everybody's day. I have 18 chlorinators that I have to let go over the counter right now. Test strips are something else that we just got in. We just got in a very large shipment of test strips. I know it's been hard for y'all not having any sort of a way to test your own pool at the house. I have them. We have plenty. Please come and see us. It's very important to keep your water tested. Check valves. Now, I have check valves that are for normal stuff, and I have chlorinator check valves. I have a lot of them, like 90. So if you need a check valve to go along with your chlorinator, or just a check valve in general to go on your equipment for the return side of the equipment, I have them. Those have been very hard to get a hold of. We would love to help you with that. Let's see. That's all. That's all for that. So seriously, pumps, pool pumps and pool cleaner booster pumps, I've got tons of them. Chlorinators, test strips, and check valves, they're all very important for your equipment. These are a lot of things that are gone, missing, and you need them. we have them. So come see me on that. Moving on to the coupon book. We've been doing this for years. We've been putting the coupon book out. It's worked really, really well for us. As of today, and it doesn't matter what day you're watching this, but this is Tuesday, May something another, 17th, 18th, I don't know. It doesn't matter. As of today, there is nothing in this book that is still valid. And I hope that y'all have used this book as much as you possibly can. It came out in March. We've had lots of sales. I've seen a lot of you using this book. But as of today, just because of the shortages that are happening and pool businesses that I'm talking to that are telling me things like, I don't know what I'm gonna do and we're gonna close our doors and all of these things, this is something that I'm having to make a business decision on. This is the type of stuff that's gonna help me not go up wildly on my product. And if you want to know what wildly looks like when it comes to being high on product, get on Amazon and look for a 25-pound bucket of CLC by BioGuard. It's $189. We normally sell it for around $85. We're up to $95. I don't want to be that company that's making you feel like I don't want to go see Lake Air Pools because they were the ones that took advantage of me during a hard time. So we're trying to keep it low as we can. Our costs are going up. Our products cost to you are going to go up. By not using this product, coupon book is going to help me not go up like wildfire. So I think our CLC is now up to, like I said, 95. Also on Amazon, 1 pound bag of shock from In the Swim. That's $27, guys. I think mine is $4.50 for a bag of Burnout. Is it going to go up? Probably. It will not go up to $27. Not today, it won't. And I can't see it doing that because that's not the way that we run our business. But as other people are running out of chemicals and we have a lot of people coming to us, we are not going to be the company that takes advantage of you. We're going to hold prices down to what they have to be, not what we necessarily feel like we can get for it. That's just not the way that this company has ever done business, and it's not the way that we'll ever do business. So just in general, I want to look at a few things. There's some stuff in here, and it's mostly, a lot of this is chemicals. The one thing that I'm not going to cancel, if you're thinking about any of that, is the cleaners. The rebates that I have on the pool cleaners, specifically the robots, are not going to go away. That's staying. All right. This advertisement for the Mako, that's not a coupon. That's just an advertisement. I'm still going to run that Mako sale. And as of right now, for the same advertisement for the Green Mountain Grills, we're still good to go. This is everything else in this book except for the Mako sale. Those pages are advertisements, but everything else is going away. So if you weren't able to use this, I'm sorry. If we're able to do this again next year and we're out of this weird chemical shortage and all of life just blowing up and going crazy, then this will be back. And we'll love to give you the discounts. But right now, during a shortage, we're having to make a business decision. We just can't do this. Okay, hopefully that's cool with everybody. We still love you. If it's not and you don't want to be friends, that's okay. We're still friends, at least on our side. Okay, let's see here. Going to the next thing. Perfect. Why handhelds are so important. So we had talked about the poles, brushes, nets, vacuum heads, vacuum hoses. It's not that they're so important that, like they're in shortage or any of these types of things. The whole deal with this is the more that you put in a little bit of effort when it comes to dipping the pool, emptying the baskets, vacuuming the pool, the cleaner the pool's going to stay. A cleaner pool uses less chemicals, which means this is how you're going to do your part to be able to not only stay afloat, but help the entire industry when it comes to a shortage. It's the little baby small things. So making sure that there's not a whole bunch of, like leaves and dead bugs floating around the top of your pool. That's where the skimmer comes in check, the dip net. I've been doing this almost my entire life, maybe since I was 10 years old. I'm 38, and I have heard time and time again, whether it's out at somebody's house or if I'm working on the front counter of the store and I ask people things like, can you vacuum your pool? Do you have the ability to vacuum? And they look at me like a deer in the headlights, just like, what's a vacuum cleaner? I'm not making fun. This is just, we're to the point now where if you own a pool, you have to think about things like dipping the top, brushing the walls, and vacuuming the bottom. All of the things that we can do to get debris off of the floor, out of the water, so that it stays really, really clean, the more good you're doing on your chlorine consumption staying low, and the other pieces of the pie like pH and alkalinity staying in check. Because if you have rotting foliage or decaying bug bodies in your pool, then that's messing up the chemical levels. And if you're messing up the chemical levels, you need to come see me more. And if you're coming to see me more, you're buying more. And if you're buying more, that's creating an even bigger demand when some of these things can just be taken care of at home with a little bit of elbow grease. Now, where the brush comes into that is not so important, but I'll tell you, like, with it being May and uncover season and I'm going to everybody's house, it is so important for you to brush your pool. And I mean, like, you need to brush your pool once a week. You need to think of that pool as your teeth. And you better be brushing your teeth every day, but your pool needs to be brushed once a week. It gets all of the dirt off of the sides of the walls and off of the floor. It doesn't allow it to stick, because when dirt's sitting on the side of the walls for so long and then it stains the pool and you hate it, you're not going to be swimming. And if you're not swimming, you're not doing good work for your body. Also, all of these things are going to get in there and pit your plaster. They're going to make it look bad. They're going to make plaster jobs last less amount of years. And that's all good if you don't mind spending, $6,000 to $10,000 on a new plaster job every, 3 to 5 years, because it's just crumbling or it's stained beyond repair. But with just the tiniest bit of elbow grease, you can completely get out there and make it work. Now, so the real deal is, I've got all of these things. I have plenty of them. Please, please, please take advantage of this. Come in and talk to us about how to do these things, because your super clean pool means a lot. And if your pool is dirty and it gets really bad out there, the cleaner the pools we can have and them not be green, black cesspools coming into things like June and July and 100-degree days, that's going to make all of our lives better by not having mosquito pits everywhere. Okay, we talked about this not long ago, the Instant Frog and Optimizer. I'm not going to tell you everything it does. Here's what the main focus for this is. It makes chlorine work more efficiently, and it makes pH and alkalinity work better together. It's a really big deal. We've been selling it for years. I've harped on it for years. Every single time somebody puts it in their pool, they're just like, I wish I would have put this in years ago. It's not expensive. But what it is doing is making everything work better. And in a time of shortage, we need alternatives. This is a great one to be able to keep your pool clean. And if we do run out or it's getting real skim out there, you're not going to be the person with the gross pool. And lastly, your balance of your water, like alkalinity. So many people come in here and they don't want to put the alkalinity increaser in. And that's fine. On a normal year, I would tell you that's fine. It's not fine for your pool. You totally need it. You've always needed it. But I'm not going to tell you how bad you really need it if you don't want it. Now, in a shortage time, I'm going to tell you it's one of the most important things you can put into your pool. Absolutely, hands down, one of the most important things. Alkalinity and pH dictate how long your chlorine stays in the water. If it's down to nothing, your chlorine's so hyperactive, about 20 minutes after you put it in, it is gone, all of it. It's totally gone. And if your pH and alkalinity are through the roof, way up here in the 250, 300, 400 mark, your pH is over an 8, your chlorine is so lazy, it's literally doing nothing. It's sitting on the couch, eating a bag of chips while algae's totally floating by, and it's like, hey, totally not going to do anything. It's the German Shepherd that walks up to the fence of the beware of dog and licks your hand. It's not the German Shepherd that's scaring the pants off of you, making you not want to go into that yard. That's what high pH and alkalinity does. So, and then, the other side of it, it's running around and it's just flying. So it's important to have balance. not only in your pool, but in your life. That's all I have to talk to you about. If any of this resonates or you need to talk to us about any of it, I'm available. Especially if you have questions or problems or issues, we want to talk to you about it. That's the whole reason why I put these videos out, so that y'all can know what's going on inside our store, which is directly affecting you anyway. We just want to help. Anyway, I hope all of y'all have a wonderful day, and we look forward to doing business with you and just helping you out in general. Bye.